Good morning, Lady Spies and to people of YouTube. I have been watching a lot of the Rotten Tomatoes show lately, and I absolutely revel in all of the fantastic movie reviews. Thank you for saving me cash. And I wondered why a lot of people don't review older movies. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of old movie buffs and people who are addicted to every word that Robert Osborne spews from his fabulously aged mouth. But then there are people, like the kid generation today, who all have the very same posters of Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, but have never seen any of their films. You know what I mean. The same angsty teenagers who have seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, but not The Children's Hour. Or the same kids who dote over The 7-Year Itch, but not Niagara. Some films have stood the test of time, like anniversaries of the golden classics such as Gone with the Wind or The Wizard of Oz, marking 70 entrancing years of fantastic filmmaking. Today I'll be sharing with you my thoughts on one of my favorite films, The Greatest Show on Earth by Cecil B. DeMille. In this film we enter the close-knit family of the circus, with all their glitz, glamour, and dark secrets. Betty Hutton is fantastic as Holly, an acrobat who wants nothing more than to be in center ring and for her boyfriend/boss, played by Charlton Heston, to show affections toward her instead of the show. I bet some of you guys can relate to that. Along the way we meet tons of fantastic supporting cast. Buttons is the clown with the dark secret, played by my favorite, James Stewart. I don't know what it is about his voice, it's just so soothing. The yappy Dorothy Lamour, and Angel, the elephant rider, who had me calling people sugar for weeks afterwards. And Cornell Wilde as the Great Sebastian, an acrobat who is strictly center ring. Now the reason for the Great Sebastian is due to the circus's lack of business, because apparently they don't do well no matter what day and age. Holly finds that Brad pushes her out of center ring to make way for the Great Sebastian. Holly and Sebastian are both completely outraged and decide to share center ring, both competing between themselves throughout the rest of the film until Sebastian does something stupid. Angel warns Holly against Sebastian, who's been trying to woo her since day one, because he's had a history with women. A lot of women. One of the most important scenes that I find is totally relevant to the story and people tend to drift in and out of, you really need to pay attention to the scene, is when Brad decides to kick out one of the men that is running the game tents, because he decides to start in with crooked gambling and causing a ruckus, generally, stealing money from customers. I won't tell you why it's important. You have to watch it. My favorite part in the movie is when you see Dorothy Lamour singing a Hawaiian song and all the acrobats are spinning around in the air. You see the camera pan across the crowd, and there you see Bing Crosby and Bob Hope shoveling popcorn into their faces. If you don't know why, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Dorothy Lamour have made several Road to movies, most popular of which being The Road to Morocco. In the movies, Bing and Bob tend to play brothers or best friends that are always getting into trouble, either with the law or most of the time with women. And throughout their films they tend to fight over Dorothy Lamour. Family Guy made this theme popular with their famous Road to episodes, most recently Road to the Multiverse, where you see both Brian and Stewie traveling from God knows where to their certain destination, encountering all kinds of unusual shenanigans along the way. In Road to Rhode Island, the tune is changed slightly from the original Road to Morocco theme. So before I get too excited and give the ending away, The Greatest Show on Earth is full of fantastic actors and stunts, catchy tunes, and a good plot with a happy ending. I give it 4 out of 5 stars total. So give it a try, and if you'd like an old film reviewed, leave it in the comments box and I'll get back to you. And if you're thinking that watching an old film is going to waste 2-3 hours of your life, I swear, just give it a try, maybe you'll like it. I bet you never realized that some of your favorite films may have been remade from old ones.